Have you ever felt like your brain just won't stop buzzing? Endless to-do lists, constant notifications, and the pressure to make the right choice every single moment. It feels like mental quicksand. The harder you struggle, the deeper you sink. Now here's the twist. Psychologists estimate we make almost 35 zero decisions a day. Imagine the mental energy that burns. No wonder we feel exhausted, confused, and paralyzed by indecision. The truth is, we often overthink simple things and drain the focus we desperately need for the big ones. This is where Think Less, Do More by Peter Hollins steps in. It's not about working harder. It's about cutting through the noise, mastering mental clarity, and channeling your energy into action. So if you've ever dreamed of living with more focus and less overwhelm, stay tuned. Let's dive in and find out. Think about it. A student spends hours researching the perfect productivity app but never actually studies. A professional crafts endless strategies but fails to execute a single meaningful task. A parent juggles so many responsibilities that even quality time with children feels like another item on a checklist. And in corporate life, entire teams drown in meetings and reports, but real results remain missing. This is the silent struggle of modern living. Analysis paralysis. We overthink, we overplan, we overanalyze, and by the end, we're too drained to act. The tragedy? Most of us don't fail because of lack of talent, resources, or opportunities. We fail because we scatter our focus and exhaust our willpower on unimportant choices. Peter Hollins, in Think Less, Do More, reveals the science and strategies to break this cycle. He shows how to simplify your thinking, cut down decision fatigue, and focus your mental energy on what matters most. This book isn't just another self-help manual, it's a lifeline for students, professionals, entrepreneurs, and anyone trapped in the storm of overthinking. Imagine the freedom of fewer mental loops and more meaningful action. That's the transformation waiting for you here. Welcome to Unique Audiobook. This is a place where you'll find the world's best book summaries in just 15 minutes. Each summary reveals a hidden secret that can change your thinking and your life. Whether you're a student, a parent, a professional, part of the corporate world, navigating relationships, or working on your finances and mindset here, you'll discover practical solutions and new perspectives. And remember, the secret we're about to reveal today might just be the turning point in your journey. Because Think Less, Do More by Peter Hollins is not only about productivity, it's about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your clarity. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll discover principles that can reset the way you live and work forever. Don't even think of skipping this part, because what we're about to uncover could change the way you approach every single day of your life. Overthinking may look harmless, but it's the silent thief of time, confidence, and peace of mind. And most people never escape it. Why? Because they mistake thinking for progress. They equate planning with action, but the two are worlds apart. This book is different. Think Less, Do More isn't about working longer hours or pushing harder. It's about freeing yourself from unnecessary thoughts and unlocking the natural clarity that leads to decisive, confident action. And here's the twist. The last principle in this book is the most powerful one of all. Stay till the end, because that final secret could be the key to everything you've been struggling with. Trust me, you'll thank yourself for sticking around. Let's look at a global example. Serena Williams, one of the greatest athletes in history, didn't win because she thought through every possible shot. On the court, there's no time for endless calculations. She trained her mind and body to act with clarity, confidence, and instinct. Overthinking would have cost her the match action wanted for her. The same principle applies to us. Life doesn't reward those who endlessly prepare. It rewards those who act with clarity. Peter Hollins echoes this truth. Excellence comes when we simplify our thoughts and focus our energy where it matters. So just like Serena Williams avoided the trap of overthinking by sharpening her clarity, we too can learn the same. The question is, how do we do it in daily life at work, in school, in relationships? Let's unlock the first principle that will show us exactly how to shift from thinking endlessly to acting decisively. Imagine sitting at your desk with 10 tabs open, your phone buzzing, and sticky notes everywhere. Your brain feels like a crowded room where everyone is shouting at once. That's mental clutter, and it's the first enemy of action. Peter Hollins explains that our brains have limited working memory, like a small whiteboard. The more unnecessary scribbles on it, the less space remains for what truly matters. Decision fatigue grows, clarity fades, and procrastination sneaks in. He suggests a mental declutter ritual. Write down every small thought, task, or worry on paper. Once externalized, the brain can relax. Hollins himself practiced this before writing sessions. He'd list out distractions from errands to unanswered emails and set them aside. This emptied space in his mind for focused writing. Think about students who worry about exams, chores, and friendships all at once. The moment they dump it into a notebook, suddenly studying feels lighter. Or a professional making endless micro decisions in one day, which email to answer first, which meeting to prioritize. A simple to-do dump clears the head and brings instant relief. So the lesson? The mind works best when it's uncluttered. Like a sharp blade, clarity cuts through chaos. Tonight, grab a notebook. Before sleep, write down every random task or worry. Notice how light your brain feels the next morning. Now that we've cleared the mental table, the next step is learning how to protect our focus from the constant noise around us, because clarity without boundaries is fragile. Let's unlock principle 2. Picture yourself working in a busy cafe. Every few seconds, someone calls your name, a song changes, or a message pings. How much progress could you make? That's exactly what distractions do to our focus every day. Peter Hollins emphasizes that focus is like gold dust, rare, precious, and easily lost. He warns that multitasking is a myth. The brain doesn't do two tasks at once. It simply switches rapidly, burning energy each time. His research points to studies where switching tasks just 5 times in 30 minutes cut efficiency by nearly 40%. Hollins shares his own writing routine: phone in another room, notifications silenced, and a set timer for uninterrupted deep work. He calls it building a fortress around your focus. Think about a parent trying to help their child with homework while answering emails and cooking dinner. The result? Stress and poor results in all three. But when they dedicate just 20 undisturbed minutes to the child first, the difference is remarkable. So protecting your focus isn't selfish, it's strategic. Before your next important task, silence your phone, close extra tabs, and set a timer for just 25 distraction-free minutes. With focus now guarded, the next challenge is energy. Because without sustained energy, even the best focus collapses. That leads us to principle 3. Imagine having a full day free, but you are so drained that even simple tasks feel impossible. That's the trap of managing time, but ignoring energy. Peter Hollins insists that productivity isn't just about hours, it's about energy cycles. He references research showing that our brains have natural peaks and troughs in alertness called ultradian rhythms. For most people, focus lasts around 90 minutes, followed by a dip, push against it, and exhaustion sets in. Work with it, and performance soars. Hollins describes how he schedules creative writing during his mental peak and reserves routine tasks like emails for low energy periods. This simple shift multiplies his output. Consider an engineer preparing a critical design presentation. If they spend their freshest morning hours on random admin, they waste their prime energy window. Instead, channeling that window into design could double their effectiveness. Or a student who cramps late at night when exhausted compared to studying fresh after rest, the difference in retention is dramatic. The key insight: time is equal, but energy is personal. Respect your rhythms. For 1 week, track when you feel most alert and most sluggish. Then schedule your hardest task during your peak zone. Once energy is managed, we face another invisible enemy: perfectionism. Because sometimes it's not energy that holds us back, it's the endless chase of perfect. That's principle 4. Defeat perfectionism with progress short lesson. 255 words. Picture an artist staring at a blank canvas, waiting for the perfect first stroke. Hours pass, yet nothing is created. That's perfectionism at work disguised as high standards, but actually fear in disguise. Peter Hollins argues that perfectionism is a productivity killer. It makes us delay, doubt, and discard half-finished efforts. He reminds us that every masterpiece started as a messy draft. His own writing process involved producing ugly first drafts without judgment, then refining later. By lowering the bar for starting, he unlocked momentum. Think about a student waiting to study until they feel ready, or an entrepreneur waiting for the perfect business plan. Both miss opportunities while chasing an illusion. Progress always beats perfect. So the real shift? Aim for movement, not flawlessness. Next time you hesitate, tell yourself, done is better than perfect. Start with one small imperfect step. With perfectionism behind us, it's time to address another silent drain: decision overload. How do we simplify choices to free up our brains? That's where Principle 5 comes in. Imagine opening your wardrobe and staring at 50 shirts, frozen in indecision. Now picture having just 5 shirts. How much faster would you choose? That's decision simplification. Peter Hollins reveals that decision fatigue silently drains willpower. The brain burns energy with each choice, whether big or small. Over time, small decisions like what to eat or wear erode clarity for the big ones. He points to leaders like Barack Obama and Mark Zuckerberg who minimize daily clothing choices to save mental energy for critical work. Hollins himself used a simple breakfast routine to preserve focus. He argues that by automating the trivial, we protect willpower for what matters. Think about parents juggling endless micro decisions: snacks, schedules, chores. By simplifying, say, having a weekly meal plan, they reduce daily stress dramatically. Or students who design a fixed morning routine save mental energy for studying. So decision simplification isn't laziness, it's strategy. Identify one daily decision you can automate, maybe your lunch, your workout, or your outfit. See how much lighter your mind feels. Simplifying decisions clears the mind. But what about the noise inside the mind itself? That's where the practice of mindfulness enters Principle 6. Picture your mind as a crowded train station, with thoughts rushing in from every direction. Mindfulness is stepping onto the platform, watching the trains pass without boarding them. Peter Hollins shows how mindfulness interrupts spirals of overthinking. He cites research where short daily meditation sessions reduce stress and improve focus in students. His own practice involved just 10 minutes of mindful breathing before writing, which grounded his attention. Consider a professional overwhelmed before a big presentation. Instead of rehearsing disaster scenarios, they pause, breathe deeply, and observe their thoughts without judgment. Suddenly, clarity replaces panic. Or a parent managing household chaos, mindfulness helps them respond calmly instead of reacting emotionally. The power lies in noticing, not controlling. Try this. Before your next stressful task, take 3 slow breaths, notice your thoughts, and let them pass. With mindfulness giving us calm, the next level is clarity about goals. Because without a clear why, even calm minds drift aimlessly. That's Principle 7. Imagine running a marathon without knowing where the finish line island. Exhausting, isn't it? That's what life feels like without clarity of purpose. Peter Hollins stresses that knowing your why is fuel for action. Without it, motivation fades. He recalls times when his own projects stalled until he revisited the deeper reason behind them, like wanting his books to simplify psychology for everyday readers. That why reignited his drive. He urges us to articulate purpose in simple terms. Why does this matter to me? Who does it serve? Once the why is strong, the how becomes easier. Think about a medical student cramming endlessly. If their why is just pass exams, burnout follows. But if it's to save lives one day, suddenly the grind gains meaning. Or a parent juggling 2 jobs. Remembering the why giving kids a better future strengthens their resilience. Purpose transforms effort into devotion. Write down your top goal right now. Under it, write, why does this matter? Refine until it feels deeply personal. With purpose as fuel, the final step in this set is momentum. Because clarity without movement still leads nowhere. That's Principle 8. Imagine pushing a heavy car stuck in mud. At first, every shove feels useless. But once the wheels start turning, momentum takes over. That's the secret of small wins. Peter Hollins teaches that success grows not from giant leaps, but from consistent, tiny victories. He shares how starting with just 300 words a day built his writing habit into full books. Small steps created unstoppable momentum. Think about a student intimidated by 200 pages of material. Breaking it into 10 pages daily feels achievable and builds confidence. Or a fitness beginner. Instead of chasing a marathon, start with 5 minutes of walking. Each win fuels the next. Momentum silences doubt and turns effort into habit. Choose one intimidating goal, break it into a ridiculously small step, then do it today. With momentum now on your side, the next principles will take us deeper into strategies that sustain progress, eliminate friction, and multiply results. Stay with me, because the most powerful insights are yet to come. Imagine trying to run a race wearing shoes 2 sizes too small. No matter your determination, friction slows you down. That's exactly what happens when tiny obstacles block our path to action. Peter Hollins emphasizes that productivity isn't just about willpower, it's about environment design. He shares how he simplified his writing habit by keeping his notebook and pen ready the night before. This eliminated the friction of setup, making it easier to start. Research shows people who prepare gym clothes the night before are 60% more likely to exercise. The principle is simple. Reduce the steps between intention and action. Think about a student who wants to study but wastes 15 minutes searching for notes, or a professional delaying exercise because their shoes are buried in the closet. By removing those barriers, action becomes natural. So the key isn't pushing harder, it's clearing the path. Identify one goal. Ask, what small obstacle makes this harder than it should be? Remove it today. Once friction is gone, the next battle is consistency. Because even easy starts mean little without steady continuation. That's where principle 10 steps in. Picture a sprinter who runs furiously for 1 minute, then collapses, versus a marathoner who paces steadily for hours. Who truly finishes? That's the power of consistency. Peter Hollins reminds us that intensity fades quickly, but consistency compounds. He shares how some of his most impactful books weren't written in sudden bursts, but through steady daily writing. His mantra, small, regular effort builds giant. Consider a professional who attends one flashy seminar and expects transformation versus someone who practices skills for 15 minutes daily. Or a parent teaching their child values. One lecture is forgotten, but repeated daily modeling shapes character. Consistency makes growth inevitable. Pick one habit. Commit to 5 minutes a day for 30 days, instead of chasing occasional bursts. With consistency established, the next key is resilience, because setbacks are inevitable. The question is not if you'll fall, but how you'll rise. Welcome to Principle 11. Imagine a toddler learning to walk. They fall dozens of times, yet never label themselves a failure. Each stumble is feedback until walking becomes second nature. Peter Hollins insists that adults must relearn this childlike resilience. He argues that failure is not the opposite of success, it is the path to success. He recalls abandoned projects in his career that later became the foundation for new breakthroughs. What looked like loss became preparation. He points to research from Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck. Those with a growth mindset see failure as information, not judgment. This mindset fuels persistence. Think about an entrepreneur whose first business collapses, but who uses the lessons to build a stronger second one. Or a student who scores poorly on a test, analyzes mistakes, and scores higher next time. The truth is simple. Failure instructs if you let it. Next time you fail, ask, what is this teaching me? Write down one lesson and apply it immediately. With resilience secured, we're ready for the final secret in this journey. It's the most transformative principle of all, because it rewires not just your actions, but your entire identity. That's principle 12. Imagine someone trying to quit smoking while still telling themselves, I'm a smoker trying to stop. Compare that to someone who says, I'm not a smoker. Identity shifts action. Peter Hollins highlights that lasting change doesn't come from surface goals, but from identity level alignment. He shares how adopting the mindset of, I'm an author, not I want to write, solidified his writing habit. Actions flow naturally from identity. Consider a student saying, I want to be disciplined versus I am disciplined. The second identity directs choices daily. Or a parent modeling health by saying, we're a family that values movement. Identity locks habits into lifestyle. So the most powerful principle is this: think less about outcomes and more about who you are becoming. Rewrite one goal as an identity. Instead of I want to exercise, say I am an active person. Watch how your actions align. With identity now reshaping every action, we've completed our journey through the principles of think less, do more. But stay with me for the conclusion, because that's where everything ties together into one powerful blueprint. Think back to where we started, the endless buzzing in your head, the weight of 35 zero daily decisions, the exhaustion of overthinking. That pain is real, but it's not permanent. Peter Hollins shows us that the way out isn't more effort or longer hours, it's clarity, simplification, and decisive action. From cutting mental clutter, guarding focus, and managing energy, to defeating perfectionism, simplifying decisions, and practicing mindfulness, to clarifying your why, building momentum, and reframing failure, all the way to shaping identity. The message is simple but profound. Think less and do more. Here's the plan. Don't try to apply all 12 principles at once. Pick one this week. Practice it daily. Watch how even small shifts transform your confidence and productivity. Then add another. Step by step, action by action, you'll see the fog of overthinking lift, replaced by clarity, energy, and unstoppable momentum. The future you're chasing? It begins the moment you stop overthinking and start acting. If you stay till the end, it means you truly want to change your life, and that's powerful. Here's my invitation. Hit that like button, subscribe to Unique Audiobook, and drop a comment below. Tell me which principle hit home for you. Was it cutting clutter, building momentum, or reshaping identity? Your insight might inspire someone else. And remember, this channel is your gateway to 100 plus of the world's best books in short, powerful summaries. If you like the full audiobook of Think Less, Do More, check the description below. This is your time. Think less, do more, and step into the life you were meant to live.